Hi everyone, welcome to Tom's Manshed. Now today's review is on this. It's a Wowstick, which is a cordless electric screwdriver. But unlike your normal DIY electric screwdriver, and by the way I did a review on a great one from Lidl's a couple of years ago. If you click on the link up here or wherever, for that. This is like a precision one. It's for small screws like you get in computer cases and tiny stuff like that. The reason I've got it is just recently I've been doing things like I put a new battery in a phone. Again, I've done a review on that, check that out. And I've done some repairs to some old radio control equipment and got back into me modelling and stuff like that. So there's been tiny little screws, far too small to use a big hefty DIY electric screwdriver on, and your hands can get fingers get a bit tired when you're constantly going around them all. So hence I bought this. So I'm going to do the unboxing. So, well, first of all, I'll show you where I got it here on BANGGOOD. And oh, by the way, it only took 9 days to come from BANGGOOD, which is pretty good for them. I've had stuff on order for like a month from them sometimes, along with AliExpress, but it was only 9 days ago I ordered this and it's just arrived today. So this is it here. So here it is on the BANGGOOD website, and you see the price is £23.13. I actually paid a bit more. I paid £24.88 for mine when I ordered it 9 days ago, so it's actually come down a bit in price. So you'll find that a lot on BANGGOOD. Prices go up and down quite a lot, but they're basically all the bits you get with it. Well, I'll be showing you them in detail soon. Some of the specs on it are here. It goes at 200 revs per minute. The previous one, I believe, did 150 revs a minute, and that was powered by AA batteries or AAA batteries or whatever. This one is rechargeable, and this dual torque is a bit misleading really. It says 0.15 of a newton meter stroke 3 newton meters. Well, when it's being used in its electrical mode, i.e. the motor turning, that is the torque, 0.15 of a newton meter. The 3 newton meters it's referring to is when you're actually physically turning it without the motor running, just turning it by hand, using it as a conventional screwdriver. So that's the way you'd use it. You'd undo it. If it's a very tight screw, you'd undo it by hand to get it loose, and then use the motor to motor the screw out. And then when you're putting it back, use the motor to get it in quick, and then just at the end, just use your hand to tighten it up. But there's not dual speeds as such. The 3 newton meters is just turning it manually by hand. Now, the thing I liked about this is it is so slim, and all the precision screwdrivers that come with it. There is another one here, the SD63, which is a lot more, £33, and that comes with a selection of sort of like larger bits, and these two holders here hold the bits, and they can clamp to the end of the screwdriver like that. So that's a good idea. But also the torque, you'll see same revs per minute, but the torque on this is 0.9 newton meters under power, not 1.2. So sorry, not 0.12 like the one I'm reviewing. So more torque, but to my mind, you don't need a lot of torque on a precision screwdriver. That's the idea. It's for tiny little screws. If they're tight, you can use that power of your hand just to untighten it and so on. And I didn't want anything quite that bulky. It's a lot thicker, a lot bigger to slip inside a case than the one I got. If I want more torque and more power, I'll just use me Lidl's DIY one. But I wanted the precision one, so that's the one I went for. So this is how it comes. It's quite a nice box. It slides off there, and nice bit of humour here. I'm a screw pad. That's the magnetic screw pad, and everything else in its box has got similar things written on it. I'm a case. I'm a dual power screwdriver. I'm a pit screw. So yeah, it's quite funny. So we'll start with this first. So this is genuine unboxing. I haven't opened anything myself. I'm going to do this and then have a read up on using it. So inside the cardboard box, it's then in its plastic sleeve. That's quite nice plastic, so reusable. And that's a magnetic pad. It's got those little symbols of stuff on it. Turn it around so you can read it. Easy and enjoy. I do love some of the things it says on these things. On the other side, there it's got a screw pad. So I'll just get some screws and we'll see if it's this stick. So yeah, as you can see, little tiny screws are stuck to it. It's not very powerful. It's fine if it's not designed to go vertically like that. It's only to stop moving around on your desk, and if they're horizontal, it'll be fine. But a slightly bigger screw, as you can see, does have sort of trouble gripping that, but it'd be fine laying flat. So that's your magnetic pad. So this is the I am a base. It's got written on it there, and this is the base just to keep the screwdriver in. Similar nice quality opaque plastic, and that's quite weighty, that. I'm just wondering if that's magnetic as well. No, but there's a peel off sticker on there, and yeah, that's like a sort of rubbery, slightly sticky. It's not an adhesive, but it's it will stop it moving round on your desk. So that's the base. There are 4 of these. These are all your drill bits. So there's 4 of them. I'll unwrap them shortly. There's this. I am a case. Little bag of silica gel in there as well. The same opaque plastic, and quite a nice case to keep it in. Magnets, 4 little magnets on there, 4 little magnets on there, so quite a strong grip. I thought it was hinged at first, but it's not. It's a totally removable lid, and then it magnetizes together. And what's this? I am a toolbox. What's this? Inside here, you get a little short USB-A to micro USB. That'll be for charging it. And just some tools in here. Let's have a look. What limited use is, that's one of them suckers that you're supposed to put on like a screen, phone screen or whatever, to pull it off, but something that size is not going to have anything like enough power to do that. The best way of removing a phone screen, as I found out recently, is if you're going to do it regular, investing in one of them check like a pair of pliers with 2 big rubber suckers on. But there's that. And then there's this, a demagnetizer and magnetizer. I've got a bigger version of one of these that you can just put the screwdriver through, and they're quite effective. If it's lost magnetism, your bit, put it through here and it will remagnetize it. If you want to get rid of that magnetism, I think you turn it round or whatever, and it demagnetizes it. And then a little tiny jar of screws, tiny threaded screws. Not sure what they're for. Like I say, it's just the unboxing this. I'll explain that later. So, like I say, we've got 4 of these. with all the bits in, so a massive amount of bits. I think there's 56 or something like that bits. It tells you on the website. And they're held in a clear tube. It's got open at this end, so it's like a rubber stopper. Goes in there. Oh no, yeah, I thought it was a rubber stopper. That pulls the whole thing out. And it shows you on here. I'll hold it up closely. What is in here? There's some really tiny ones. So that's the first tube. And when you're storing it in that white case I had a look earlier on, it obviously hasn't got room for all 4 of these, so you'd use your most commonly used ones. Again, I'll show you that once I've had a little play with it and read up on it. Just show you what's in all these tubes. Again, it comes out the same way. I won't show you it coming out, but that's what's in this one. So that's that one. So you might want to just freeze frame on this video to have a proper read what's in each one. And on this one, oh, actually, the last one, I've just undo it. Forgot to read the box. That will have said, yeah, I am a bits group. I am a bits group. I am a bits group with X1, X2, X3. So there's 3 actual sets of them bits, and the other one is I am a dual power screwdriver. So it's in exactly the same size boxes, and that's the actual screwdriver itself. So not much more diameter than a pen, and 3 quite bright LEDs. Yeah, quite bright actually then. And obviously press the button there to drive, and there to undrive. So yeah, charging port on that side, micro USB charging point. So yeah, that's what's in the box. I'm going to now have a read of these 2 sheets, what's ever on these, have a bit of a play with it and film it in action, and let's see what it performs like. So here it is in use on my mobile phone. I had to take them screws out the other week when I put a new battery in. Again, I've done a video on that if you want to look it up. But these screws really are super tiny and very easily lost, so that magnetic base would be handy for these. So that's one of the very smallest tools in it, and precisely the reason I bought this. And here it is on a vintage radio control transmitter. Any old modelers will recognise that transmitter. This is the way they used to be before they went all computerized, probably about 40 years ago, this. So watch the very end of this video for more info and a proper view of what radio control transmitters used to be like. But now you see it tightening up a much bigger screw, and I'm using my hand at the very end of it just to give it that extra bit of oomph to tighten it up, and a slightly bigger bit in there, and again just using hand power to turn it to get it untightened, and then once you've got it untightened, turn the motor on and power out the screws. And here it is in a fan screw. That's for a big chunky screw that mounts cooling fans in your PC, and you can see you even get a bit that will fit that. So this side here is just stop that just comes out, so that's, you leave that in all the time. And this one here, like I say, pull it out, and this particular tube, the one with ×3 on it, 3, has got 4 of the bits are longer than normal. So I'll show you this as well. The rubber, the bit that holds it here, is very flexible. It grips them really well. It's not hard plastic. I've got another micro screwdriver set, and it has a tray that you just pop these in, but you've only got to pick the thing up and turn it upside down and they all fall out. But these are gripped quite effectively by them. They are a flexible rubber, not plastic. I don't know whether you can see how it flexes, but take my word for it, it is like quite a grippy rubber. Now that's your standard length there, but these 4 at the bottom, and I'm assuming they've picked 4 of the most common sides. There's a Phillips, small Phillips opposite drive, the larger Phillips opposite drive, a straight blade one, and a hexagonal head one, and these are longer. And you can see how they're magnetic there, and these are longer, so they'd be quite handy for getting inside tricky places with a screw that's hidden in a deep recess. As you saw then, these are magnetic. So let's see if this little demagnetizer thing works. And yeah, like I said, the instructions don't tend to tell you much. It's got the usual things that make you giggle. It says here, one of the things says, when using the product in a place where it may touch the dark line or its open cord. So what's the dark line? Is it like going over to the dark side or what? And touching its own cord? Well, it hasn't got a cord. It's cordless. Hold the tool in an insulated manner. So it's full of useful information like that. That's that. The little accessory kit you can get is, well, not of much use. You get, forgot to show you that, one of them little puller up things for inserting in a phone when you're taking it apart, but I've found them not very good. These cheap ones, you're better off getting a quality, very thin metal one. And that sucker has no power on it for pulling up a screen. Some use maybe in these. There's 3 different sizes of tiny, tiny screws, threaded. They're not self-tappers, they're threaded screws in there. And there's a really tiny short one, medium and long. They're all countersunk heads. So they may come in handy, but again, I've got a drawer full of them. The base, as I showed you before, it's just got a rubber thing that sticks quite good. It doesn't stick like adhesive, but it sticks quite good to your table, and that just sits in there like that. So it's just a holder. This, it's not a charger or anything like that. It just holds the bit in like that. And the case, what have we done with the case? Again, the case, you can use that in 3 different layouts. Again, I'm going to go into that shortly. We'll do some close-ups, but you can use that in 3 different ways. So that's quite a handy compact. That'll fit in most little work cases. That'd be handy to take down to, say, my model flying field. So as I've just mentioned, you can use the case in 3 different ways. There's 2 grooves in that case. So shown here, it's carrying 2 sets of bits without their plastic storage tubes. So you could carry them around like that. Or alternatively, you could use it like this. Same 2 sets of bits, this time within their storage tubes. That's a better idea, I think, because it protects them a bit more, and it tells you which tube a particular bit came out of. Or you can just use one set of bits, maybe swap and change them around, just load it up with the bits you most commonly use, because you're not likely to need all 56. and use them and the groove next to it to carry the screwdriver itself. So the choice is yours, but it only does have just those two grooves in the case. The magnetizer demagnetizer works very well. Again, I'm going to show you that in full detail very, very shortly. And yeah, as I demonstrate, it works really, really good. Okay, so I'm now going to demonstrate this little magnetizer and demagnetizer. You can see it says on the top demagnetize, and there on the bottom magnetized. And I'm going to show it you on this screw. Now, as you can see at the moment, I've already demagnetized this tip. There's a tip I showed you earlier on. I've demagnetized this. As you can see, it's not picking this screw up. Oops. That was it just rolling, but you can see it's not magnetized. Maybe a bit of residual magnetism left, but it's certainly not enough to pick it up. So let's remagnetize it again. And these tips do already come magnetized. So to do that, the bottom bit, anywhere in that square, you just push the bit in and drag it back. Now, there's nothing in the instructions telling you this, but I have used one before. I'm not sure. I think it equally works if you push it backwards and forwards like this, but I just tend to sort of like lift it up, pull it back, twist it a bit, pull it back, twist it a bit. And if you do that, I don't know, 10 times, something like that, that now should have magnetized it. So let's see on this screw now. And as you can see, that's enough to pick it up. And it's quite a big screw, this. So you can see that is now magnetized. So if we unmagnetize it again now, and to do that, to demagnetize it, because you might need to demagnetize a tip if it's going near some sort of sensitive equipment that doesn't like magnetic fields, you might want to demagnetize your tip. So then you put it through this top bit, this top gap here, and again just pull it backwards and forwards. You can try it both ways, pushing it, just experiment yourself, but this is a bit used, this top bit here. And again, if you pull that backwards and forwards about 10 times, hopefully, or it'll prove me a liar, this should have now demagnetized. And you can see it's just not. There's a bit. See, there's a bit of residual magnetism to pull it across the desk, but there's certainly not enough to pick it up. If I try and pick it up, I can't. One last time, put it through the magnetized bit. Let's try it both ways, pushing it backwards and forwards this time. See if this works. Again, do that about 10 times through this bit, and this time we can pick it up. So that proves that this little thing works. The thing takes 40 minutes to charge and will run, I think, under no load for about 2 hours. So it should last you ages and ages, and then just top it up between charges. Again, I'll show you that charging up the red light and the green light. So it's just about to come up now to fully charged. Should see the LED turn green. It was green, it was fully charged. I just turned it on for a midges just to flatten it, and there you can see it flips to fully green when it's charged. And like I say, you only need to turn it on for a midges, literally half a second. And that's depleted enough battery for it to detect it needs topping up a tiny bit, and then back up to green again. So a very, very sensitive charge sensing circuit, saying it It needed a bit more just after doing literally that. Once again, should see it turn to green any second now. There we go. Magnetic pad, showed you earlier on. Yeah, as I showed you, it's for holding things on your desk. Little screws, stops them rolling around, but it's not got the power to hold them vertically, and it's not designed to do so. But quite a handy thing to leave on your desk, quite substantial, just to stop any screws moving around. And you know how tiny they are out of phones, and very, very easily lost, so ideal for that. Yeah, so one of the things I've been working on recently is fettling up an old radio control transmitter I had into a vintage aircraft, an old Groutner Cirrus glider. Anybody interested in radio control, particularly the old boys like me, will remember how radio control transmitters used to be, with stuff like this. If you're new to radio modelling, or you've been only at it a few years, you'll be only used to computerised radio sets and stuff like that. But this was the state of the art 30 years ago or more. I've got a collection of old vintage radios, even older than this. But as you can see, it's in really, really good condition. I've been putting new battery packs in, and there's quite a lot of screws on the back, so I've been using it for that. Yeah, old Skyleader, made in the UK. Horrible feeling sticks compared to the modern ones. No computer screen, very, very basic, no different rates or anything like that. But that's how it used to be, as opposed to the modern stuff like this, with beautiful screens and everything, and great little voices. So just listen to this.
I'll let you flick that switch again. Oh, I like that one. Do it again.
And all sorts of stuff like that, including...
Elevator low, 0 feet. Vario on, vario off.
Can read out telemetry and all sorts to you. So, yeah, the younger generation don't know how good they've got it these days. That's Skyleader stuff was what we used to have to put up with. So, yeah, enough of the reminiscing and waffling. So all in all, pretty well made bit. It's made by Xiaomi, which are a huge Chinese company to make electric bikes, electric scooters, unicycles. A friend of mine's got an electric unicycle and he loves it. I have just actually reviewed my last review. Check it out in the tile at the end of this. This Sega design watch, which I think is gorgeous. That's the holding company, or the overall company that have taken over Sega design is Xiaomi. So, yeah, well-respected company, and it does seem a very, very, very well-made piece of equipment. So, hopefully it's been of some use, this to you. If you do like these reviews, please click on the little symbol of the shed here. I'll be back with another one very, very soon. Thanks for watching this one. Bye for now.